Hey Star family, so today we're going to quickly talk about the latest episode of 90 Day Fiance. The reason why I said quickly is because there was no Jenny or Summit, also known as Samit, on this episode. So to be quite honest with you, there wasn't much to talk about. Without the Jay-Z and Beyonce of 90 Day Fiance, what is there to discuss? So because there's not a lot going on, I didn't want to do a live because I would not have much to say. So I'm just going to drop a bit of my thoughts right here and then we'll converse in the comments section about this lackluster filler episode. Let's get into it. Let's start off with Kim and Usman. So Kim, again, like I cannot rock with her with the way she speaks of and has this idea of the second wife, because I feel like in her understanding, she thinks that because she would be the first wife, that means she has reign over the second wife. You can even hear it in how she speaks about the second wife. She says, oh no, I just thought that she was just going to be the baby maker. What is that? Like, why would you want another woman to be treated like that? Anyway, and I also told you guys, I didn't like the optics of this white American woman with this Nigerian African man and having this idea that, let's be real, the second wife will be Nigerian or of some kind of African descent, because they had this discussion of where she just may be from. And I don't see Soulja Boy getting, you know, another white American wife. I really do think that he would have a black wife. Not sure of which region she would come from, but I absolutely believe that she would be black. So I don't like the optics of this white American woman calling the second wife the baby maker and feeling like she is going to lord over her or have this kind of power over her. And I feel like the power that she wants is to mistreat her. And I do not like it. And that has made me see Kim in such a different light, and it's such an ugly light on her. So Soulja Boy explains to her that yes, I will have a second wife, but I'm not sure where she's going to come from. He was like, she may come from America. She may come from Jamaica. She may come from another part of the Caribbean or some European country. Like, he was just like I don't know where the second wife is going to come from, but I do want to have options. And I don't know if he was saying that because he's thinking of making Zara the second wife, because you know Zara was the woman that he was in a real relationship with, but she didn't want to come on the show. So I don't know if he has been able to convince her to come on the show, but I know that that was a real relationship. And how I know is because I watched my girl Linda from 90 Day Fiance The Melanated Way. I watched her video on that where she talked about, we also did a collab and she discussed how Zara was the real deal for Soulja Boy, also known as Usman. So maybe that's why Kim is upset about that, because she feels as if he does get an American woman, it will be her, and she knows that Zara still has his heart. Either way, I just still do not like her approach to the second wife. And I also don't like her having this idea of how she would treat the second wife, or has this expectations of how she would treat the second wife, knowing that she has not only received the understanding from Soulja Boy, but she has received it from a man that he values in his community, to also give her that information that this woman will have respect and will be treated by respect from Usman. So he's expecting the same from you. I think that's what's happening with Kim. I feel like she's constantly saying, oh, I'm out of it. I don't want to be a part of it. I'll go back to America. If she can't mistreat the second wife. And I just do not like that. Also, I don't feel like you need to get up in arms, Kim, because I feel like you're the only one who sees you two actually getting married. I don't see that happening. Because I don't think that Soulja Boy wants to come to America. I think he's doing very well where he is, and I don't see his career thriving in America. So I don't think he wants to come to America. I think he'll play this game for as long as he can play this game, and will probably remain on this show for a very long time, no matter who he's with, because this network and this show really, really likes him. And I feel like he has at least a 5 to 10 year contract with this show, because we have seen Soulja Boy on this show with different partners now at this point. So I think he's going to remain on the show. I don't know if Kim will remain on the show. I think if she's going to go down the road of mistreating the second wife, or I think if she's going to get antsy about when they're going to get married and demand a specific time and a current time, I think that's when we'll probably see the last of her. What are your thoughts? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. Oh, Elizabeth and Andre, I do not care. I do not care. I feel like their storyline this season has been so boring. I feel like it's become less 90 Day Fiance and more you know, Libby and the family Trumpers. Like, that's what it's become, and I'm just over it. So in this episode, we get like a little bit of Elizabeth and Andre, who are the reason why this whole family is on the show. We get like 2 seconds of them, and then we get like multiple scenes with her family getting together for her mother's birthday dinner that Elizabeth and Andre didn't go to because Andre did not want to be at that dinner, at her birthday brunch or whatever, with Chuck. My thing is, TLC, or 90 Day Fiance, calling you both out. My thing is, if the reason why we are filming this family, which is Elizabeth and Andre, if they don't show up to this dinner, then you just don't cover the dinner. Like, what is the point of us watching Libby's mother's birthday dinner if Libby isn't there? It just didn't make any sense to me. But we spent multiple scenes with this family being very awkward with Charlie, and then coming around and everybody, you know, loving on Charlie again because they have a common enemy, which is Andre. So the family started to bond again about their dislike of Andre and how he has taken over Elizabeth and how he has squirmed his way into their father's business. So they were all able to come together over that, and Charlie is no longer canceled. I'm telling you, every time he said canceled, I loathe the day that Trumpers discovered canceled, what the word meant and how to spell it. I loathe the day that they discovered that, because it's been a nightmare ever since. Shaida and Bilal.
Oh, Lord. Again. Again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit. Same old fucking shit.
Same old storyline. I don't know how long they can stretch this. I mean, where are we at in this season? I don't even think we're close to the end, and they have not given us anything. They have not given us anything. I'm actually about to stop talking about this couple, just like I stopped talking about Ed and his fiance, Ed and Liz, because they're just not interesting. They're not really giving anything, and it all seems fake and forced. And that's how it feels with Shaida and Bilal, because I feel like they're going to stretch out if they'll have a baby, or if Bilal has a vasectomy and hasn't told his wife. And it's just, I'm not interested anymore, because we went through that on their season, on Before the 90 Days, I think. Or just regular 90 Day Fiance. Whatever it was, we went through that. Let's give us something new. Let's see how their married life is and how these two have evolved as a couple. If you're not going to give us that, then just move on, because you're dragging out a storyline that was dragged out on the first season that we met them. We're not interested anymore. So anyway, Bilal and Shaida go to a fertility doctor, and the fertility doctor is just like, well, have you tried conceiving? And they're like, oh no, we haven't tried. And I'm confused. Aren't they married? Like, are you guys not having sex, or are you guys using protection? But I don't think that Shaida would allow Bilal to use protection if they're trying to have a baby. I don't know. It's just weird for a married couple to say that they haven't tried to conceive. Because then what does that mean? Are you not having sex, or are you having protected sex? I felt like they should have stayed there and maybe clarified that for us, and let's dig into why you are or are not having sex. And if you are, why is it protected if you're married? And your wife is trying to have a baby like right away. It's weird. It's weird. And I really wish you would have stayed there than spent the whole scene at this fertility doctor who is, you know, discovering that Shaida may have some hormonal imbalances. I mean, that's great, right? If she does have an issue, it's great that it was discovered and that it will be handled. But I'm just like, I need to dig into why you guys aren't having sex the marital way. Like, that's what I want to talk about. I really don't care, because I was just as confused as the fertility doctor. The fertility doctor was just like, people don't come to me if they haven't even tried. I would recommend you guys try first and then come back to me, which makes sense. Why are you here? What is going on? Who has the tea? Somebody has to have some kind of tea on Bilal and Shaida, because none of what they do has made sense this entire season. Jovi and Yara. So this episode was a little bit lighter for Jovi and Yara. On this episode, Jovi goes to brunch with Yara in her tethers, because there's no way that they're actually friends. There's no way. This was just a brunch with a bunch of Yara tethers. That's what it was. Because I don't believe that this is an actual friendship. And here is why. We have not seen these women at all, right? At all. And I think we have been watching Jovi and Yara's journey for, I think, maybe 2 seasons. Even 1 is enough, right? And then we get to this season, and all of a sudden she has all of these besties that look just like her. And they're so close that not only do they advise her about her marriage, they also are at the point where they're getting her husband together. And I'm like, how are you guys here? And we've never met you. It's just really weird. And I honestly feel like these are like casting call friendships. I think these are women who are hired to be her friend. I wouldn't be surprised if you probably saw them in like some true crime reenactment documentaries. I do not think that these are her real friends. It's just not giving. It's not giving. It's not making any sense, because if they are your real friends, why are we just meeting them? And how long have you guys been friends where you're now at the point where they can advise you on your marriage, to the point where you are taking their advice, applying it to your marriage, and allowing them to talk any kind of way to your husband? I feel like that's something only a bestie could do, and a bestie who has been with you from jump, like 3rd grade. You know what I mean? This is very weird to me. It's giving storyline. Sorry, Yara, not buying it. And then the nerve of these friends to say that Jovi isn't protecting her. He doesn't have her best interest at hand. I'm sorry, Jovi has spent this entire season thus far trying to make sure his wife and child do not go to a war zone to find her family. Like, he absolutely understands what Yara is going through at this point. Like, he can't relate, but that's his wife and that's his child, and he has feelings about that situation, and he's like, I'm the husband, I have to protect you. I don't think it's wise for you to go to a place that's about to go into a full-on war. It's not smart. Can your family leave and meet us somewhere? But I don't feel like you should go there or anywhere close to there right now. There's a lot going on. You need to stay with our child in a safe and protected place. How is he not protecting his family? Please, can the Yara Tethers explain that? Because I'm confused. Michael and Angela, also known as Donald Trump in a sundress. So in this episode, Michael is deciding to learn how to swim. I guess he said, if Angela is not going to give me the visa, I'm going to swim to America and get in my damn self. But in this episode, Michael is learning to swim. He's hanging out with his friends. You know, there's a woman there. He's doing everything that Angela doesn't want him to do because she wants him to be isolated. And Michael explains to his friends that he's not supposed to be hanging out with, that he is feeling some sort of way because Angela has cut down the money that she sends to him. And he's like, she is the one that told me to not work because she does not trust me, does not want me to be at a job where I could have temptation by working with women. So if you're going to take away my means for survival, then you have to support me financially in some way. And he says that she has been doing that, but she slowed down the money, so he's starting to struggle. And that is where the frustration is. And that's probably why he's been a bit more short with her than he's ever been before, because the dude is hungry. You know what I mean? He was able to provide for himself in a certain way and also, you know, do a little something with the TLC check. And now you're cutting all of that off and probably not allowing him to get all of his funds from TLC. So he's a bit bitter, and I understand, right? So Angela surprises him. She gets to Nigeria and then she calls him. Like when we first saw Angela, she was sober and she was trying to cry and get really emotional about how Michael is treating her. But again, I'm not buying that Michael is taking advantage of her solely. I think that this is a mutual scammation, right? I feel like these two are both scamming each other for something. Angela wants the BBC and to be in control, and Michael wants to get to America. They're equally scamming each other. It's mutual, so I don't care. Two consenting adults who are consenting to scamming each other. Not my problem, not my business, but it is my business to review it. Anyway, I just don't buy Angela's story about how she's this victim. If anybody is a victim, I would say it was Michael. We've seen him be physically and mentally and emotionally and verbally abused by Angela since we met this couple. So if anybody's the victim here, it's Michael. Anyway, Angela pops up on Michael with Blue Cantrell's mama, also known as Renee. And it's obvious that Angela's on something. I don't know if she's high, drunk, or both, but she was slurring her words. There was more spit in her mouth than normal. She was gargling them teeth. She was not in her right mind. Like, we've seen, you know, Angela's right mind, which is not, you know, right for normal people, but it's right enough for her. So we've seen how she acts when she's sober. She was obviously on something or doing something, and she was just not herself. She was looking every which way. She wasn't connecting with the camera. She was falling all over herself. It was just an ugly scene, right? And so then you have her out of her mind, going over to Michael's home. She's ripping up his car because he will not come out of the house. And then you have Renee, a woman that he has never met, not only screaming on his property, but cursing him out through his locked door. At the end of the episode, Michael doesn't come out, but we do see in the trailer that he does come out. He confronts Angela and says that the relationship is over. Y'all could have ended with that, because that would have been some sweet victory. From seeing Angela rip up that man's car, y'all could have let him come out and go ham on that woman. That would have been the best way to end the episode, because I did not like that. And I did not like Renee screaming at him. I'm like, who are you? Angela don't even know who you are. So how you think Michael know who you are? You're screaming at him, cussing at him, embarrassing him in front of his neighbors, because you know everybody in the town is watching this thing go down. They was watching it go down from the minute this white woman and these cameras showed up in their hood. Like, come on. Oh, this couple is just stressful. Every time I say I don't want to see them anymore, TLC puts them on another show. So listen, I'll try another way and say I want to see as much as this couple as TLC can give me. Give me more. Give me all. I want to see it. Every little bit of this relationship. Lord, I hope it backfires. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. Not much to say, but what do you guys have to say? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. Love ya, and see you soon for something else. Bye, guys. Mwah.